Okay, the next concept in classes is inheritance. Okay, inheritance means, let's just say you already have something defined, some class defined. How do you borrow all these attributes, all these methods into a new class? That concept is inheritance. Okay, so let's fall back on our dog example. We will create two classes, that one is parent class, another one is a inherited class. So let's just say I want to create a very common class called animal. Okay, and in this animal, I the very first thing I would define is a constructor, which refers to self. Okay, and then I would say, just say animal created. Okay, and the next class I would say is, what does animal eat? Okay, here also it has to refer to self and type. Okay, here you can pass food. Okay, here you can say, okay, 1 second, here you can say self dot animal equals to animal. Let me pass that. Here I will say self dot food equals to food. After I accept, I will say animal created. Here I will say self dot food equals to food, and I will say print. Okay, self dot animal, whatever the animal eats, um, whatever the food you pass. Okay, this is one class. Now if I want to create another class called, let's just say, dog, but in such a way that I want to inherit attributes from animal. Okay, first let me create a dog class, and then I will show you um, how two classes can be inherited. So here it has its own constructor. Okay, and let's just say self. Okay, no, I will just simply write def, let's just say bark, and I would say print. Okay, so these are two different classes. Now they are not interlinked. Okay, if I say initialize a is equal to animal of, I have to pass one value, right? Let's just say cat. Then I can access a dot eat. What does the cat eat? Okay, here I can pass milk. See, animal is allowing me to accept some animal, and it will print after it accepts animal. So it just prints animal created by default. I mean, because it's a constructor, right? Constructor will do whatever you print here, it will print. So then when I call eat, so it is able to accept that animal and eats, or drinks, I should say, whatever. So milk is being printed, and this, in this way I can do the same thing for dog. The result would be the same, but these dog and animal are not linked. Okay, if I want to link this dog with this animal, borrow some attributes of what it eats. If I want this dog, if I want to make this dog, let's just say d is equal to dog as of now. Okay, and this is my dog. It prints dog created, and I can access d dot bark, and if I say bark, okay, it will say wolf, woof. Okay, but if I want to access d dot eat, there is no attribute called eat inside this bark. Okay, but I want to borrow it from animal from here. How do I do that? So you have to slightly modify this class dog. The first modification is you are going to say here where are you borrowing from. Okay, this is the first change. So you're borrowing from animal. Okay, and after you borrow inside your constructor, I'm saying, okay, you not only have to use your own constructor, also use animals constructor. Okay, so animal dot init of self. Okay, so I'm going to say use constructor from self as well. So this complete init, whatever is inside this init came here. Okay, all right, and now I have printed dog created wolf. Okay, now let me try d dot, oh, let me execute first. Now let me try d dot eat. Okay, d has to no, first I have to call. Okay, sorry, let me call it d1. Okay, so just to have a separation, d1 equals to dog, and dog is missing a animal. Let's just say I would say animal name is the same labrador. Okay, or maybe husky. Okay, and it is also missing argument, but two were given. Okay, so where is it? What did I define here? Animal created. Yeah. Okay, and here nothing is being passed. Okay, and dog unit takes one position argument, but two were given. Okay, let me, for simplicity, let me not accept this animal for the time being, just to explain you easily. um, okay, so this I will do, and if I don't uh, accept, no, I have to accept it, otherwise I will have. All right, let me call it dog 1. Okay, dog 1 of, okay, dog created bar, some animal is um, cat. Dog 1 is no different. Okay, if I don't pass this, actually I have to pass animal. Okay, let me simplify it, let me modify a little bit. Here I think I didn't mention animal, no. um, okay, animal I didn't mention. Animal is being accepted. Okay, food is being accepted, fine, and this looks fine. And now uh, here there is dog is taking inheritance from animal, self in it. Okay, dog created wolf. Okay, here d1 of husky. Is there something that I'm modifying? Okay, fine. Mm, remove this dog created. Okay, I will modify only to test. Okay, so here I will say, instead of, I will say animal, whatever animal eats food. Okay, all right, dog one of animal husky. Okay, so okay, all right. Okay, so just to simplify for the time being, I have removed this accepting of animal value. I've instead added just a print statement. Here whatever it wants to eat, we are accepting that and printing that. We are saying animal eats food. Now I have created another class which is accepting the attributes from animal. By default, when I add the animals init constructor here, what this constructor does is it automatically references to all the methods and attributes available inside this animal class to dog1. Okay, now dog1 is created here. Let's try to access, okay, eat. What does your dog eat? Now inside, if you notice, let's try with bark first. Okay, bark, it does the woof, and dog d1 or dot eat of. In eat we are accepting food. Okay, let's just say biscuits. Dog eats biscuits. So if you notice, dog one doesn't have eat we are borrowing from animal, and eat accepts food as a value, and that we are printing. So you have to call it the same way. Okay, now if you notice what we printed, animal eats biscuits, and which was present here. You see how we made one class accept a method from parent class as well as its attributes, methods and attributes. Okay, this is how inheritance works. If you want to borrow, if you want to make one class borrow a few things from animal, from the parent class, um, you can use inheritance like this. So this is parent class, this is derived class, we call it. Okay, is this understood? Any doubts here? Yeah, I mean, are there doubts, or have you understood? Okay, okay, all right. So we will improve upon this. Okay, next, let's just say both these animals, okay, both these animals have legs. Okay, for simplicity I will copy paste this here so that I can have it close by. Okay, polymorphism. Okay, now polymorphism, we are talking about polymorphism now. Okay, so polymorphism is nothing but, let's just say both animals, this animal as well as this dog class, both had, if we want to take into account um, a function where, or a method where we want to count something very that is common to both. For example, both have legs, right? Both have four legs. Okay, something different. Okay, let me say, okay, let's just say instead of animal you had one is dog. You had this, I will define as dog only. This I will define as cat. Let's just say what I'm now saying is, for in order to understand what polymorphism is, let's just say you had one as dog, one as cat. Here, let's just say whatever the animal name that you pass, or maybe name you pass, that would be self dot name equals to name, and I will remove the print statement. Instead of eat, okay, let's have eat, no problem. So instead of eat, I would say, here I would say self dot name eats food. Okay, so let's have a class like this in the same very same template. Okay, let's also have another function, def speaks. Okay, or how it makes sound, right? So that also, let's say it return self dot uh, self dot name. Okay, plus says meow. So cat says meow, right? So let's have that class. And very similar to this class, I'm going to have another class called dog, which also does the same thing, but here it says woof, and it also eats. Okay, so this is my cat, dog. Both are, I mean, everything is same. It's just that this eats different food. Whatever the food provided, this eats different food. This speaks differently. This speaks differently. Okay, and both have names. Now, if I say I'm running out of words, but okay, Tommy equals to dog of, okay, some ABCD. Okay, some, okay, or maybe D. D is equal to dog of, let's just say Nico, and C equals to cat of, uh, let's just say Felix. Okay. Now, if I type D dot speaks, okay, or yeah, D dot speaks, C dot speaks. So, if you notice, both are printed correctly, right? Both have different words, which is working fine. But these are working as different classes. So basically, the point I'm trying to make is, if you want to have different functionality of one single method behaving differently in different classes, then there is no problem. Okay, but if you want to have same method in one single class behave differently, okay, I'll repeat that, different classes, different methods, behavior different, then there is no problem. You can do it like this, what we have done. It's very straightforward. But if you had one parent class, like animal, what we saw, both are animals, right? If you had one parent class, one same name, but behave differently, once it should say meow, once it should say woof, okay, that concept is polymorphism. We will see how to implement that, but I just wanted to show you how you could do it differently, I mean on different classes. But if you want to have something within animal class, now I'm having only one class, and I'm going to segregate how to capture both cat and dog. Okay, let's just say I'm passing the name, and self dot name is same thing. This is same for me. Okay, but I want to capture how do they speak basis on a, okay, so here I will pass for now. I will come back to that. Now I have created a parent class. In the same dog class, I am going to inherit attributes of animal. Okay, and here I am going to say def speak of self. Why I am not using init here? Because by default, when you call it from animal, this dog is going to use animals constructor. Okay, that's why I'm not defining here. Only inherited classes can have this option. Return self dot name. Okay, I will say plus you add says oof. Likewise, I'm going to define another class cat of, again that is also borrowing from animal. Here I would say, here also I would say use the same constructor. Basically it's using animal constructor only, and returning self dot name, whatever the name was passed, plus says new. Okay, so here I had passed. Okay, but here what I will do is, okay, let me show you first this and then I will come back. Okay, C is equal to cat of, let's just say Felix. D is equal to dog of Nico. I will use the same words. Um, now if I say C dot speak, okay, D dot speak. You see what happened? What is happening here? So polymorphism, what we are basically doing is we are using the method which is defined here. Okay, basically we are using the constructor defined in animal to construct both name is being taken here from animal name, and when you define it separately like this, okay, speaking part, you are going to inherit the attributes, that is one. And here if I raise the error, let's just say some error, but we have error class that we will talk about in. Okay, so here I would say derived classes, uh, okay, implement abstract methods. Okay, what is the difference between this one and here? Okay, if you had to, the difference is, I'm explaining the difference. So here you have your own constructor, you have your own method, but if you both these classes had to inherit from the same parent class, then what would happen is, if I specify this speak using the same constructor, again I'm not using different constructor of dedicated constructor of dog as well as cat, but rather using animals constructor, and using that constructor only speak is also being implemented, right? Speak is talking to the same constructor, and if you wanted to use a common method for two different classes, that is inherited classes. Okay, so if I don't define it here, okay, properly, if I don't define it here, then you can't make them to behave differently using the same constructor. That is important. Using the same constructor, you can't have two methods to behave same way, to behave different way, sorry. You can't have same constructor to construct two methods with same names to behave differently, unless you're defining a method here and referring to that using self. This process is polymorphism. Polymorphism is nothing but making two different methods behave differently, okay, using the same constructor. Is this clear? Okay, um, any doubts? Mhm. This, yeah, this I have written because if one of these doesn't implement this, okay, then a error has to be raised. If some error, if some value is not passed, okay, let's just say so something is not passed like this, okay, some error has to be raised. Okay, I mean specifically for speak, not for, okay, let me specifically for speak. If you are not going to use speak, for example in speak I said something, uh, let's just say, okay, let me hash it out. I want to show you this also. Okay, so this I have added only and only in case someone makes a some value gets added or some error is raised. Okay, something happens in the speak method, that error has to be captured. So that's why I have added it as not implemented error. You can type anything you want here if you want. uh, Raise error occurred in speak method of animal class, something like that. I mean, only to capture, this is just a kind of optional thing. Okay. um, yeah, so that's why just I had written not implemented error. But yeah, you can skip this if you want. Okay, but polymorphism is clear, right? Making two similarly named methods behave differently using same constructor, that is what polymorphism is about. Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. This one, right? No, we are already referencing to that, no? Using self. All these three are talking to each other. See the way how, yeah. Mm-hmm. So, yes, yes. Okay. Okay, so you're saying self dot speak, something like that, right? Self dot speak, you want to borrow it from the animal class because it's already working here, right? That's what you're saying. Okay, let's just say self. Mhm. That's what you're trying to say, right? Okay, let me add a statement. Self dot speak. So here I will say, instead of raising the error, I would say print animal speak, so that we know this speak is coming from animal class. And if I print self dot speak here, okay, so self is not defined. So this will happen. um, the thing is, each method, okay, although we are borrowing it from, okay, one second, let me try. Okay, dog says meow. One second, let me test it out. But I will call it C1, just so that we are not using the previously executed code. Okay, now this is animal, self is not defined. Okay, either way, I mean, still, if you say c1 dot speaks, d1 dot speak, d1 is dog of Nico, and self dot speaks, it's not printing animal dot speak, no, here it says Nico dot speak, because it's a, see, this is the problem with Jupyter. Sometimes I'll have to stop the execution. Yeah, it is taking the previous variables, but ideally this won't work. So d1 dot speak won't work. Instead, if it had to work, it had to say animal speak, right? um, okay, I can, okay, let me try in code maybe. Okay. Hmm. I will add everything here only so that we can see the output in one go. Okay, c1 dot speak should work fine still, but d1 dot speak should say um, something else. Okay. is not okay. All right. Okay, one give me a minute. No, it's not even executed. No? If it's not executed, it may not work. Okay, I have Python now. CD. Mm, okay. So self is not defined. Okay, this part is not defined. Um, yeah. So I mean, this is not working. See. So what is happening is it is saying this self is not defined actually. But if I hash it out, okay, let me make it this way. Um, say I want to at least execute for cat first. Okay. Um, Dog is not defined. Okay, fine. I will bring this here instead. C1.speak should work, but I don't think daemon.speak would work. Ah, what happened? It's referencing to somewhere else again. I will, okay, that is the file, right? Python untitled. Oh. Anyway, fine. I think I don't have. I'll have to install it. But I don't think. See, here it is taking variables from previous ones. That's why it's showing this. But otherwise, this won't work. Okay, you can try at your end and check what this gives. Um, but unless you, yeah, is it working? Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. Try and check, but I don't think it will work. Okay. Um, so polymorphism is different. So it requires a function to be defined. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Fine. So up until this point, I think should be clear. Anyway. Yeah. Yes. 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 Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. So if this is clear, then moving on. Okay. Um, so 9:37 now. So let's just take a break. Have a break first and come back at just take 30 minutes break. What's the 9:38 now? Yeah, 10:10. Come back at 10:10. Okay. We'll look at other concepts of object-oriented programming. So come back at 10:10. Take a break, break. Okay.